Oh, hey, what's up, you guys? How's it going? It's Papa, and today I'm going to be showcasing you guys my current format, post-Worlds, post-Dueling Nexus deck profile on Purrely, and it is one of the decks that I've just been having the most fun with in this current format that is not sprite related. This is not a Purrely sprite list. This is just a pure Purrely list. What I do like about this archetype is that it is very control-centric. I wanted to be able to not really like keep going fast tempo for the next format, but I wanted to play something nice and easy like your mom. But I do love the playstyle of this deck. I mean, just being that it is kind of like Sky Striker to me, and I do really enjoy like the whole archetype. I mean, like this card is very, very beautiful, so I can't really complain. But the other thing too is that we are also playing the new Purrely Nor in this deck, so this is a post-Dune list, and since we got the cards early, I figured I'd go ahead and showcase you guys the deck early. But without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into the deck profile. One small disclaimer before I start this list though, I wanted to just go ahead and be honest up front. This is not a very easy deck to play. In fact, it is very difficult to play in my honest opinion. I have just started learning the deck. I'm still not 100% confident with it yet. This is just my first draft of the list so far, but I really do like these cards a lot. I mean, the first time I took it to a tournament, I actually did not good at all. That's what makes you want to keep getting better, is like you want to play a deck that you like, something that you think you're going to understand better, and then as long as you just keep grinding, keep progressing, then you're just going to have a good time. But this is not going to be something you nail on the first try. It is not that easy. It's still taking me a couple tries, but we're getting there. But yeah, starting off with the deck, we are on 3 copies of our Purrely. I did lie, I only have 1 and I have 2 commons, but if you do have 2 other copies, feel free to message me and maybe we can work something out, because I would like to have a matching set of cats, I suppose. This card just becomes a lot better with this next set being to where you can add the new Purrely trap card, and then it also still gets you access to your My Friend, it gets you to your field spell, but I mean, this card just really helps to make the deck still go round, so you definitely want to max out on 3 copies of it. Moving on, we do play 3 copies of regular Purrely. I mean, this card is also just as good as the other cat, so I mean, you definitely want to max out on these, mainly because this one is not once per turn. The whole being able to just excavate the top 3 and just add 1 is every time it's summoned, so I mean, that's always nice. So you definitely want to max out on this one, because this one can play during your opponent's turn as well, so it is just what it is. But just the 6 cats, you definitely just want to play the 6. If you could play more, I would play more, but since you can't, we just opt to play 6, of course. Moving on to the spells, we are on 3 copies of My Friend Purrely. This card is really busted. I mean, being able to just reveal 3 different Purrely cards from the deck is really good, and of course, like, you can just duplicate them, so if you need pretty memory from your deck to your hand, you can just reveal 3 pretties and then it just gets added. But it also gives not known knowledge by doing that as well, because your opponent will pick the card at random. They don't get to see what you get on resolution. Granted, whatever you do add is probably going to be getting played during that turn anyway, but you know, it's just a little bit of mystery factor, and who doesn't love a mana mystery? Yeah, baby! So that's it for the My Friends. We are also on 3 copies of Purrely Sleepy Memory. So, or not Sleepy Memory, this is Pretty Memory, but cards busted. Being able to, again, discard a card, summon a level 1 Purrely monster from the deck is really good. And then when it is used as material, you can target a card your opponent controls and equip it to your Purrely monster as material. Very, very nice. And then the whole life point gain is very good as well. We are on 3 copies of Purrely Happy Memory. I mean, this one is really good because it helps you with a OTK, and then it's also really good just because it can basically protect your cards until the end of your opponent's next turn, which does come up a lot, and of course it summons a Purrely, so you definitely want to max out on these. Arguably the best Purrely spell right now is Purrely Sleepy Memory. Now that you have Nora legal in the TCG, this card just becomes infinitely better because you're able to use this with your Purrely to be able to make a turn 1 Nor, so I mean, that's really nice. And then of course, when it's used as material, you can just keep drawing cards. So if you have like up to 2 of these underneath 1 monster, that's essentially a draw 2, and then with the trap card, you can go ahead and just draw 2 more during the same standby phase, so that's really good. So eventually this card can become up to a +4 to a +6, depending on where it is, but the card's really nice, so you definitely want to play 3 of this. Next, we play 1 copy of Delicious Memory. If you could play more of this card, you would definitely play more of this card, just because Plump is still really good, but since it's only at 1, you can just play the 1, I suppose. So nothing else too crazy here. He is a little hungry cat. Next, we play 2 copies of Stray Purrely Street. This card's actually really nice. I do like this card a lot. I mean, it's probably one of the best field spells I've ever read, basically making it to where it can equip a Purrely quick play spell from the deck to a monster you control is really good. It also has the effect that your opponent cannot target Purrely monsters you control with card effects to turn their special summon. So if you make the Nor during your opponent's turn, they basically can't target it until it comes back to you, which is really nice because it helps play around cards like Impermanence, cards like Valor. It's very, very good. And of course, the last effect of the Purrely Street is that if a face-up Purrely Xyz monster you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon a Purrely monster from your deck or graveyard. So that's very nice. It's just really broken all around. It just makes your deck run wild. So you want to play 2 of it because there are instances where you will draw multiples of this. So you want to be getting this off of your My Friend Purrely or getting it off of just the regular Purrely Lee monster itself. I can't believe how many times I've said that stupid name in this video already. It's driving me crazy. And then for the trap cards, we are on 1 copy of Yeep. I don't think you ever really need to. I've never seen myself needing another one of these. Basically, being able to just rank up during your opponent's turn is really good because this goes into the X Purrely Nor, which you all know is busted. And then the other effect of this too is that you can recycle 3 Purrely monsters from their graveyard back into the deck. It's also just so good, so you definitely want to do that. Just 1 though, I don't think you really need to. Last trap we're playing for Purrelys is the Purrely Share Lily. So I don't know how good this card is just yet. I mean, I've been testing it and so far it's like fine. For those that don't know what this card does is that it basically states that you can target 1 Purrely Xyz monster you control, special summon 1 level 1 Purrely monster from your deck but negate its effect. Then you can special summon from your extra deck 1 Purrely Xyz monster with the same rank but a different attribute than the targeted monster by using that special summon monster as material, and then it's also treated as an Xyz summon. Then you can attach 1 card from your deck to that Xyz summon monster with the same as the Purrely quick play spell attached to that monster. So it is definitely a mouthful. The wording on this card is absolutely not the best. In fact, it's quite shit. But I'm testing it out right now. I don't know if this is going to end up sticking. I really still like the other Yeep a lot more. If anything, I would probably decide to like cut one of these for either like a Harpy Feathers Duster, or I could just cut the deck down to an even 40, or hell, I might even throw in a second copy of Yeep. But we're just trying it right now. I don't know if it's going to stay, but I'll let you guys know in an update when I get to it. So that's it for the Purrely cards. I mean, I believe it's 23 cards for the Purrely engine, so you definitely want to be making sure at least half of your deck is Purrely relevant, mainly because the whole Purrely being able to add a Purrely spell or trap is really busted. And then of course, like you have the Lee that gets you access to any of the traps, the field spell, and the My Friend, which help you just dig deep even more. So you definitely want to be playing as much of these as possible, but the traps are just like the most awkward part because of course they're just not that good during turn 1, but you also just don't want to not see them either. Moving on for just like the non-engine, this card is really nice. You need to play 3 copies of Droll. It's so good. I mean, it's a level 1 and then it just plays very well against all decks in the format. So basically it's like if you only have access to 1 cat, and then you can use this as a normal summon to make your Slacker Magician to help you go into a Zeus place. It does come up a lot more than you would think actually, but 3 Droll, have to play it. 3 copies of Ash, I mean, same thing. I feel like you just have to play this card. Since you are drawing during your opponent's turn, you want to make sure you're drawing some kind of form of interruption if it's already not during your turn, which cuts me to my next card. I play 3 copies of Impermanence in the main deck. So what I don't like about this card right now is like, I feel like it has the same issue it did when I was playing it with Evil Twin Sprite, to where you draw during your opponent's turn, but at the same time, if you're drawing this during your opponent's turn, then it just becomes dead. So you're basically sitting there with a dead card in your hand and it's not good until your follow-up turn. But unless they Zeus you, odds are you're probably still going to have a bunch of cards left on your field by the time this comes back to you, so you have to wait an additional turn to be able to use this card again. So odds are this might become Effect Veiler or this might become Nibiru, mainly because I want to make sure that whatever card that I am drawing off of the Purrely effects is basically just something that I can use during my opponent's turn as well. So I don't know. This might come out for Veiler, might come out for Nibiru. I haven't decided just yet, but for right now, we're just playing the 3 Imperm just because this is essentially the last list I was playing before the Duelist Nexus support. So just these for right now, just the 9 copies of the hand traps. no more, no less. Just some extra forms of interruption for my opponent. We are on 3 copies of Book of Moon. I do feel like this is one of the best cards in the format right now. This could even potentially go back to 1. Who knows? The card is actually just that busted. Next, we're on 2 copies of Dark Ruler No More. You could play 3 of this if you want. I wouldn't blame you if you play 3, but I do draw multiples of this a lot when I do play 3 of it. So I definitely just saw myself cutting it to 2 just to make your hands just a little bit better. And of course, if you do draw extra copies of these, then you can just use it as discard fodder for your Purrely spells if you need to. But I have been liking 2. I never really saw the need to play 3, so I think 2 has just been fine. 2 copies of Triple Tack. Again, same thing. I just felt like playing 2 was better than playing 3 of this card. And lastly, we're on 2 copies of Pot of Prosperity. This could arguably 1 if you want to keep the deck at 40, and I have seen people play 1 Prosperity in the past, so I wouldn't be opposed to the idea of it, but I mean, it's all just personal preference at this point. So that's going to go ahead and do it for the main deck. This is 41 cards, no more, no less. I mean, again, if you want to be able to get the deck down to 40, you can arguably cut a copy of Prosperity. You could cut like a Book of Moon if you really want to, or you can even cut down on the Purrely. I mean, again, I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, so I'm just playing the 1 to give it a try. Moving on to the extra deck, I'll try to make this quick. We are on the brand new Purrely Nor, 2 copies of this hoe. For those that don't know what this card does, what it says is that once per turn, you can discard 1 card, then target 1 card your opponent controls, or up to 2 if this card has Sleepy Memory as material, and return that to the hand. And then up to thrice per turn, when you activate a Purrely Quick Play spell card, you can attach that card to the field as material, then you can set a Purrely trap from the deck. So this card really helps for going second. The fact that you can actually just go ahead and have essentially another copy of Nor just by discarding a card instead of detaching is very good. So I feel like 2 is correct. This might go to 1, but it's just so good going second that I feel like you need to have 2 copies of it. And then if you don't need it, you can always banish a copy off of Prosperity, but it really just depends. So 2 of these. Next we play 1 copy of Plump. I feel like if Delicious Memory was at more than 1, you would probably play more than 1, but since Delicious is at 1, you just need the 1 pump. It doesn't really come up too much, so when it does, it's great, don't get me wrong, but it's not as easy to make without the other 2 copies of Delicious. Next, we are on 2 copies of Beauty. I still feel like this card is just so nuts not to play. I mean, it is a negation during your opponent's turn, so I just feel you kind of have to play multiple copies of it. 2 copies of Happiness. Same reasoning, I feel like you need to play 2 copies of it, just because the amount of work that this card does during the battle phase is insane. Being able to just keep attacking, and then every material that gets added to it, it just keeps adding more attack. It's just so good. Like, you basically get to keep adding cards every time this does battle, so it helps you just keep maintaining advantage over your opponent. So I feel like playing 2 is fine. And again, if you don't use the second one, then you can just banish it off for Prosperity. Really, it's just preference, but I do like we are on 2 copies of the Purrely Nor. I mean, this card is just a big boss. This is one of the main reasons to play this deck. So you definitely want to like play 2 of it. 3 never comes up, so I just feel 2 is just that sweet magic number. This is arguably the best card in the extra deck. For rank 1s, we are on 1 copy of Slackered Magician, and then we are on 1 Princess Sprite. Now, I want to be honest with you, this probably doesn't stay in the final build. I mean, I'm going to be very honest, I just have the Downard and the Zeus as the extra cards. What I would probably do is I would go ahead and take the Princess Sprite and replace it for another copy of Zeus and make this your, like, spare ranks. But basically, like, since we don't have a second Zeus, I don't know where my second one is, we are opting to just play the Princess Sprite for right now. But this could change. Again, like, since Kashtira's on the format, you kind of need to have a second copy of Zeus. So I feel like if we do lose a Rise Heart or we lose Unicorn on, like, the next list, then this could easily just be 1 Zeus, 1 Princess Sprite, 1 Downer, 1 Slacker. But if I am going to play this right now, I would definitely be playing 2 copies of Zeus and then not playing the Princess Sprite at all. And then I only play 2 links. I play 1 Anima, 1 Azalea. I was playing a Lingaribo, but since you need to make room for the new cat, you kind of had to take some other stuff out of the deck. So I opted for the Anima and the Azalea, just because when you have the Lingaribo, you basically just do the same thing with the Azalea as you would if you had an Ibli on your field, to where you would have the Ibli, and then you just summon a cat, and then the cat and the Ibli just makes the Azalea, and then the Azalea just gets rid of another problem. So Azalea just becomes so much better than the Lingaribo in the extra deck. Granted, you never link summon, it's always just Xyz reliant, but you want to be able to just out Diably. That's really the point of these. And then Anima is just good because it sucks up bad players doing bad zoning. So that is it for the deck profile, guys. I'm going to go ahead and move into a quick combo tutorial to show you guys how this deck works. So I will see you guys in the next clip. Okay, yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys just a quick little test hand of basically what I would be trying to set up turn one with the new Purrely support. So you definitely want to go ahead and just give this a shot. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and subscribe if you have not already for more upcoming Purrely content. That's the one. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and give this a quick cut. All right, so opening hand, wow, draw and lock bird, delicious, I'm amazing, triple tax, 1 ash, and 1 prosperity. Okay, so this is quite the looker, if I may be honest. This isn't the best opening hand, but I guess what we would do here is we'll just fire off our prosperity. Since our hand is kind of balls, I'm not gonna lie, we're just gonna banish 6 cards to make sure that we see something turn one, because I'm trying not to lose turn one. Here we can go 4, 5, and we're probably not gonna need what's it called? Probably not gonna need the Azalea. So 6 cards face down, so we're gonna reveal 6 off the top. 1 Purrely, 1 Sleepy Memory, or Pretty Memory, sorry, Impermanence, My Friend, Book of Moon, and the Yeep. So a couple different things that you can do here. If you're really trying to play around Joel and Mopbird, I would just go ahead and probably just grab the... Actually, either way is going to play into Joel and Mopbird, let's be honest. So what I would do here is I would just go ahead and get the Purrely from the deck to the hand. And then resolution, what you can do is you can take your Lee and normal summon it, activate the effect, and I would just get the My Friend Purrely from the deck to the hand. Then on resolution, you can activate your My Friend. You're basically just going to go ahead and reveal 3 different Purrelys. Since I already have the Delicious in hand guaranteeing a summon, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a Sleepy, 1 more Sleepy, and we're a little tired, so I think we should just get the 3rd Sleepy. So basically you want to be able to get this turn one. This is a guaranteed way of doing it, because odds are there's no way that they're not going to pick Sleepy Memory there. And then what I would do next, this is still here, we're going to go ahead and do Sleepy Memory effect. And if they had hand trapped you already, they would have done it. So since we're playing as if we didn't get hand trapped, we're just going to pitch this dead copy of Talents from the hand to the grave. And then we're going to summon out a Purrely from the deck to the hand, or not deck to hand, deck to the field. This goes to grave. New chain, we're going to use the Purrely effect. I'm just going to cut in thirds. We're going to reveal 3 talents, Purrely, and a Pretty Memory. That's pretty good. These go back to the bottom of the deck. So right now this is your hand. What I would do next here is I would just go ahead and use the Lee effect to equip the Sleepy Memory for your, not X Purrely, E Purrely Nor. What this is going to do is that since it doesn't, how do I say this? Since it's turn one, you don't have to worry about bouncing any cards that your opponent controls, but what you can do is you can just go ahead and activate the Pretty Memory, and then you can chain the Nor to equip, and then set one. So we're going to equip the Pretty Memory from the deck, or not from the deck, from the Spell Trap Zone, and we're going to set our Purrely, basically making it to where we can rank up. And then I'm not going to summon just yet. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and just use the Delicious Memory. We're going to chain the Nor, and then we get to do the additional effect to set the Purrely. So now you have both the Yeep and the Purrely. And then resolution, this will go, probably just pitch the Droll just for the combo sake. And then you're going to summon out another copy of Purrely from the deck. So this is set. Now you have another Purrely out to the field. Give it just a nice little quick shuffle. And then we're going to give it a cut. So that way we can see what we mill. We're hoping for the field spell here. So let's go. That's probably going to be the 1, 2, and 3. Yep. So we're going to get the field spell to the hand. Like so. So this is our hand right here. We're going to then use these two. And we're just going to go ahead and make our Princess Sprite. Use the effect, detaching 1, mill in the top card. It's a spell. We have another. Boom, shaka laka laka laka. So now we're just going to activate the street. And then basically this is your end board. You have the Nor with 4 materials. And then you can just go ahead and set the pretty memory just to be able to be equipped during the opponent's turn. And then you're going to go end phase. You're going to use the effect of the street to equip 1. So since we already have the Sleepy and the Pretty, what I would do here just to get more hand advantage is I'm just going to go ahead and equip another copy of Sleepy memory, like so. And then it's going to go to your opponent's turn. It's going to be standby phase. You're going to use both effects of the Sleepy memory to draw 2 cards. Pretty decent. And then since it's the draw phase, what you can do is you can use the Purrely, and then you can use the Share Lily as Chainlink 2. So that way this will rank up, and then this will be able to resolve first. So you can summon a different Purrely monster. So let's just use this one. And then what you can do next is that you can immediately XZ summon with a different attribute with the Beauty, and then it resolves to where you can equip 1 from the deck. So you're just going to equip the Pretty memory. So that way now, on resolution, you have a Beauty. This goes away, and then this will be summoned into a Nor. So since it's still the standby phase, you can still resolve the 2 copies of Sleepy, being able to draw you 2 additional cards. So now it makes it to where you have a full hand for your follow-up turn. You have 3 forms of interruption with just the Nor. You have an additional negate with the Beauty, and then you have 2 takes off of your 2 monsters as well. And plus you have a Pretty memory to just keep equipping cards to make it even better. And then plus the 5 cards in your opening hand. Holy crap, that's a lot of stuff. So yeah, guys, this is basically going to be the combo. I know it's a lot, and I know it was a little bit choppy, but I wanted to make sure that you got the full combo for the deck. So yeah, I think that's really going to go ahead and do it. Please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And if there's anything you think I should change, please feel free to message me as well. I am still learning the deck, so it may not be the best opening board, but I mean, it is still pretty decent. But yeah, let me know what you think down below. And until next time, guys, this has been Papa, and I will catch you all in my next video.